It's definitely hot.
Our names are Mike and Heather. We're traveling the US in our van Appa on a mission to visit all 50 states. Subscribe and join us as we try to figure out this whole van life thing. As always, thanks for watching.
Hello from Idaho, which is our 28th state that we're visiting in Appa as we are traveling around the country. Our first stop here in Idaho is the Craters of the Moon National Monument and Preserve, which is a landscape and some scenery unlike anything we've ever seen before.
We are currently sitting in the campground here at Craters of the Moon. It is first come, first serve, but I think this is the most unique campsite that we've ever been at. We're literally surrounded by a lava field. Like, that's our view that we're going to be enjoying tonight. We did already get our ticket in, which now means that we are free to explore the park because nobody can snag our site that we definitely circled around the campsite a few times to make sure that we found the best one. Here at Craters of the Moon, there is a scenic loop drive that you can do. So we came in here at the visitor center where we got our passport book stamped, and then we continued down to the lava flow campground. The first trail is unfortunately closed, but that's okay because we have lots of other really cool stops that we're going to be getting to, including the Indian Cave Tunnel as well as the Dewdrop Cave. We had to get a special permit stamp to let them know that we weren't around any fungus that could kill the bats recently. So we're starting out on our journey of the scenic loop road.
So we've come to the Inferno Cone here on the park loop, which you can actually walk to the top of to get some great 360 views of the park. We're going to make the steep climb and see what we can see from the top up there. This trail is pretty steep and it's also very windy.
I second that.
I have to take my hat off.
We made it! It is so windy!
Wow.
That was an experience.
That was so windy. I don't know if I've ever felt winds that strong.
It was literally like we were in a wind tunnel, like those hurricane machines that you pay for at the mall where you have air coming from you at all different directions. You don't need to pay your $2, just come to the top of that.
That was really pretty wild.
On to the next.
Yeah.
We have come to the next spot on the map, which is the Spatter Cones, the caves of miniature volcanoes. We're getting a peek of the cone just to our right. We figured that we would talk while in the van because we're also seeing the crazy winds out there once again. But it really does look like you are on the moon. It's actually so much like the moon that in 1969, NASA brought their astronauts here to practice and learn the volcanic activity and this type of environment before their space mission. So that's a pretty cool fun fact that we are standing where astronauts once stood, and although we can't yet say that on the moon, this is the next best thing. It's pretty neat to be able to look inside where lava once flowed up, but now we're heading to the volcanic caves, which is the #1 thing that I wanted to see here, so I'm very excited about that. Very quiet compared to the wind howling out there. We have made it to the first of 2 tunnels, caves that we're going to be exploring here today. There's some more within the park, but they're closed at this moment. We've just stepped in here and it is like an other world. It's just amazing.
This is the Indian Tunnel, and we're also going to be visiting Dewdrop Cave. So this actually has a pretty good amount of space that you can walk, and there's some collapsed areas that offer some light, so we don't need the headlamps yet.
Look at how strong I am. It's really cool to see all the lava rock because it's super lightweight compared to how much a regular rock would be this size, but just to see all the pores and like how it dried, and it's just crazy to be like holding lava in my hand. It's kind of unbelievable that we basically have this entire cave to ourselves. We only saw one other person, and it was when we first got here, and we have no idea where they went now, but everything's really quiet. You almost want to whisper because it's so quiet. But it's just a really cool thing to not only see the lava fields up top, but then to also go below it now and see them from the bottom. It's just absolutely amazing.
Pretty cool.
Full stop. believe I live in your thoughts. I think about you all the time, morning, evening, and midnight. Such a wonderful delight. Forgo, give up everything that I own. Yeah, I'd give it all up now just to be with you somehow. Unexpected love was found. You're the rose in a garden, and it shows if I'm honest. You're the leaves in mid-August, and I've come out here to say that I love you. Ooh, ooh, you, ooh. So slow, hold you in my arms, won't let go. The world around could pass us by, thunderstorm or lightning strike, as we hold each other tight.
I still stand by. This is probably one of the coolest campsites that we've ever stayed at. And the windiest.
And it shows if I'm honest. You're the leaves in mid-August, and I've come out here to say that I love you. Ooh, ooh, you, ooh, ooh, you, ooh, ooh.
The sun's just coming up.
Idaho is known for hot springs, and there's lots of them sprinkled out throughout the state. So we have woken up bright and early before the sun. It is peeking out over the horizon now to enjoy the hot springs where hopefully nobody's around, because the ranger did give us a heads up that sometimes people come nude here, which we don't necessarily have a problem with. Do your thing. But I don't know how much we could have filmed if that was the case.
This is actually the Carey Hot Springs, and we were able to just park on the side of the road and walk in.
Hey, you can see Apple back there.
We are going to jump in. It looks like the pool's about 4 feet deep, so it's a chilly morning. I think we're definitely going to enjoy this. These hot springs are pretty cool because they are in some of these lava flows. This larger one right here is, and then there's a little one just up the path a little bit further. But I'm really excited. It looks pretty clear and definitely can see the steam coming off, so you know it's warm. Wow, that's really nice. I don't want to come out.
It's definitely hot.
Isn't this nice? You can actually like swim around.
Not a bad way to start the morning.
This is really cool. I'm a big fan of the fact that it's at least about 4 feet deep, so you can really be fully submerged in here. When we were looking at pictures, we saw a few that you could only kind of sit into about your waist.
If I'm being honest, I didn't know much about Idaho before starting to plan our 50-state journey, but I am pleasantly surprised and really enjoying Idaho so far.
I'm just like paddling my way across.
Made our way out of the hot springs, and it's perfect timing. Another car just pulled up next to Appa, so we're gonna head out and start enjoying the rest of our day today in Idaho.
Definitely a good way to start the day though. Not complaining at all.
Only slightly complaining because now I'm freezing compared to how nice and warm those hot springs are. We have come from the hot springs to the town of Blackfoot, where the Idaho Potato Museum is. So not only do they have a giant potato out front, but they have lots of potato fun facts and a cafe attached where we can get all sorts of potato themed goodies. So I'm very excited about this next stop. Because we had such an early morning, we had to kill some time, so we drove to Pocatello really quick. We did some laundry and grabbed a shower. So now we're all clean and fresh and ready to go explore and learn about potatoes. Smells good in here. We've literally just stepped into the museum and it already smells like potatoes. next door to the museum is the cafe. As you're leaving the museum, they give you taters if you're from out of stater. It sounded a lot cuter when they did it. So these are free, but we've come to the cafe and tried to get a little bit of everything that's potato themed. We were delivered our first warm treat, which is just a potato with butter. How can you go wrong? Oh, because the potato is so hot, the butter is just melting perfectly, making it really soft and almost like a mashed potato in here. And then the skin is like really flaky and just really good all mixed together.
Our next round of potato food is potato dollars, which are sliced potatoes that they fried up. They're kind of soft, but they have like a crunch on the outside, and they are just like delicious French fry tasting.
So we have left the cafe with our assortment of goodies. Our treats for the day are going to be ice cream. Now this isn't potato ice cream, but we did get huckleberry ice cream. I've never had huckleberry before, so I'm very curious. And then we have a potato cupcake. So it's made with potato flour, but it's vanilla flavor. And then we have a candy bar that makes Idaho famous according to its wrapper. So we'll have to give that a try.
Like we said before, the museum is actually on the other side of the building here. It was local, but it also gave you the history of the potato.
My favorite fun fact was that potatoes also grow fruit, but the fruit above ground is poisonous, and obviously the potatoes grow underground. But I had no idea that potato plants had fruit on them and that they were poisonous nonetheless, so that was pretty interesting.
My fun fact was not necessarily a fun fact, but just learning about the history of the potato and how it came from South America and made its way around the world and eventually came to America. So that was really cool to see just the journey that the potato came on as it went to different locations and became a staple food in those spots.
We also learned why Idaho makes for a really good place to grow potatoes, and it's due to the lava soil. Started off in the lava fields, and now we're eating products from the lava fields. Well, not the ice cream.
I almost took a bite. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
It tastes familiar, but then not, if that makes sense.
It kind of is in that same realm as raspberry, I think.
Yeah.
Almost as if you mixed raspberry with a blueberry.
Really refreshing, because it definitely warmed up from this morning. Now it's quite toasty out, so this ice cream's hitting the spot. Now we're gonna move on to the cupcake, which I'm probably the most excited about. We can use our huckleberry spoons.
You have to tell me if it tastes like potato.
I hope not. Does not taste like potato, but is a very good vanilla cupcake.
Maybe the slightest hint if you really...
I think it's in your head.
I don't know.
It like almost has more of a muffin texture, so that might be what you're picking up, but I don't taste potato. Continuing on our smorgasbord of potato Idaho staples, the candy bar that made Idaho famous. And we're gonna dive into here. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that coconut?
I think no, it's definitely coconut. We've got a little bit on the there's
What is that?
Stuff in the middle.
It's like a mousse. You don't like it, do you?
I'm just trying to figure it out. I don't know what it could be. It's like super weird. So there's like chocolate on the outside and then little coconut pieces on there. And then there's like a, I don't know, in the middle of it. I don't know if that actually shows up really well.
It's kind of like a marshmallow spongy texture, and then the coconut is like makes it chewy. So it's very unique. I definitely probably would take the cupcake over this, but glad I tried it because it is Idaho world famous after all.
So I think this is more just an Idaho produced candy kind of thing. I don't think there's anything to do with potatoes, but it's local.
Our last treat definitely has Idaho potato in them, and they are the Idaho potato chips. We're not gonna eat this now because we definitely just scarfed down a lot of potato products both in the cafe and a bunch of treats out here. So we'll save this for our road trip ahead of us. We may be even having mashed potatoes tonight. Who knows? Just keep this potato train rolling. But in the meantime, we're gonna finish up our desserts here and hit the road. Our 50 states road trip continues. We have now left Idaho and are officially in Utah. We definitely have to work off all of those carbs that we just ingested from that potato museum. So we have a lot of really cool hikes and fun activities planned in the national parks in southern Utah. So we're gonna keep on driving through the night and partially into tomorrow to make sure that we get there in time to hit our reservations for the national parks.
As we get into Utah, we're heading into another heat wave, so we're going back to triple digits where trading in sweatshirts for short sleeves and shorts, and we're hoping it's not too bad.
In the meantime, we're gonna enjoy this AC as much as possible. Good night, everyone.